Right, there's an additional two questions that were not in the other video, so we're going to put them on here. So properties of special parallelograms. So rectangles were parallelograms that had four right angles, and their special property was that their diagonals were congruent. Um, and then so if the diagonals are congruent and they bisect each other because it's a parallelogram, all four of these pieces are the same. In a rhombus is a parallelogram where all the sides are equal. And the result of that, or the properties that come from that, is that the diagonals are diagonal. They form right angles in the middle, so you have four right angles. And they also bisect opposite angles. So the big angle PQR and PSR are getting split into four equal pieces here. So those two pieces are equal, these two pieces are equal. And then angle QPS and angle QRS are getting bisected as well, split into two equal pieces. Okay, and then a square has the combination of having four right angles and four congruent sides. So it's going to have all the properties of a rhombus and a rectangle, in addition to all the properties of a parallelogram, because the square is a parallelogram. All right, so then the two extra questions we put on here that are relevant for us is ABDC is a rhombus, so we're going to draw a rhombus. And I'm going to call it A, B. I didn't draw it the best, but that's okay. C, B. It's a rhombus, so all the sides are congruent, even though I didn't draw it the best. Diagonals, AC and BD. Let me redraw it. That looks better. Okay, so we had rhombus A, B, C, D, and then diagonals AC and BD intersect at point E in the middle here. Okay, if the measure of angle BAD, this whole angle here is 68, find the following angles. So CED is a right, so the first thing you probably want to do is put your 90 degrees in the middle, right? It's a rhombus, so diagonals are perpendicular. So we have four 90-degree angles in the middle, including CED. Okay. And then let's split our 68 into two smaller pieces here. So 68 divided by 2 is going to be 34. So we know that this small angle here and this one here is also 34. And we know the three angles of a triangle add up to 180. So 180 minus 90 minus 34 is going to give us 56, which means this angle here is 56. And if that one's 56, since the diagonals bisect the opposite angles in a rhombus, that's 56 as well. And then across from them, you have 56, 56, 34, and 34. Okay, so if we just want to answer our questions now, CBE is 56. ADC is 56 plus 56, that's 112. And then DCE was 34. And so those are the angles of a rhombus. For a square here, we know that, let's do the sides first, or let's do sides first, lengths first. So opposite sides are congruent. So we know LO is 26. We know diagonals are congruent in a rectangle. And since a rectangle is a parallelogram, the diagonals also bisect each other. So since the diagonals bisect each other and they're congruent, all four of these pieces are equal. So if we can find one of them, we know what all four of those pieces are. So these two pieces are equal, so we can set them equal to each other. So 5a minus 7 Going to equal 2a plus 8. Okay, we'll subtract 2a from both sides. That's 3a. We will add 7 to both sides. That's going to give us 15. Divide by 3, so we get a equals 5. And we can substitute that back in and find the length of MP here. So 5 times 5 minus 7 is going to be 18. Just to double check, we could also do 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 8 is also 18. So each of these smaller pieces is 18. The diagonals themselves will be 36, though. 18 plus 18 is 36. So MO is one of the diagonals, so it's 36. LP is one of the smaller pieces here, so that's 18. Okay, and then LM. Right, so what we got to do here is we got to use the Pythagorean theorem. So we know that we have 26. We know this was 36, right? The diagonals were 18 plus 18, 36. And then we can find ML or LM there, x. So rectangles have right angles, so we have a right triangle. So x squared plus 26 squared equals 36 squared. Okay, so we gotta pull up the calculator. Okay, and 26 times 26. 36 times 36. Okay, minus 676 on both sides. Get 620, x squared equals 620. And then we take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 620, oops, approximately 24.9. Right, square root of both sides, so it's approximately 24.9. Okay. Angles here, so right angles on all the corners. So 90 minus 24 is going to give us 66. Right? And then all of these are congruent. So these are all isosceles triangles. So this is also 66, right? Which makes this 90 minus 66 is 24. And that makes this 24 as well if it's an isosceles triangle. 90 minus 24 is 66. And 66. And then 24. Oh, NMO there is 24. I guess that's all we needed. And then we're done with the 2 extra questions here.